A warship on fire, black smoke billowing, a US destroyer, the caption said, retreating to Cyprus after taking Iranian missile strikes. That video got millions of views in March 2026. Here's what actually happened. The USS Forrestal was one of the largest aircraft carriers ever built by the United States Navy. On 29 July 1967, nearly 60 years ago, a rocket accidentally misfired on its deck while it was stationed in the Gulf of Tonkin during the Vietnam War. The resulting explosions and fires killed 134 sailors. It was one of the worst naval disasters in American peacetime history. The ship was decommissioned in 1993, scrapped in 2014. Someone took archive footage of that fire, put Arabic captions on it, and told millions of people it was happening right now. The war in that video ended before most of the people watching it were born. This is not a story about one fake video, this is a story about what happens when an entire conflict, its battles, its casualties, its turning points, is being generated, fabricated, and distributed in real time faster than anyone can stop it. Welcome to the other war, the one fought not with missiles but with pixels. This is Vrinda Tulsian, and you're watching ThePrint. Firstly, what is actually happening? On February 28, the US and Israel launched strikes on Iran. Within hours before most people even understood what was happening, social media was flooded. Missile attacks on Tel Aviv, US fighter jets launching the largest airstrike in modern history, Iranian soldiers capturing American troops, almost none of it was real. The Tel Aviv missile video, footage from Algeria, football fans celebrating a local team's win. 4 million views anyway. That largest airstrike clip, a video game, Arma 3, military simulation software, so photorealistic that even journalists got fooled. The American soldiers captured at gunpoint, completely fabricated. This has happened in every conflict: old footage, wrong captions, recycled clips. But researchers are calling this something new. They are calling it the first truly AI native war. Because this time, the fakes aren't just old videos with new captions. This time, someone is sitting at a laptop and generating the war from scratch. The AI shift. During India Pakistan in April last year, we saw fake letters, repurposed videos, clips from old conflicts relabeled as new. AI generated visuals, mostly absent during the fighting itself. But this conflict is different. Swasti Chatterjee is a fact checker and deputy editor at Boom Life. She has tracked misinformation through COVID, through Operation Sindoor, and now through this. She says within the first week, something shifted. What we saw is a sudden spike in AI generated visuals. By the time we are fact checking, the narrative is already established, and the scale is staggering. Both sides are doing it and doing it aggressively. Iran's state newswire, Fars News, published a video compilation, Tel Aviv before and after the war with Iran. Almost all of it was AI generated. On the other side, a network called Prison Break, documented by the researchers of University of Toronto, deployed deepfakes timed to coincide with actual Israeli military strikes. A fabricated video of the bombing of Tehran's Evin prison was posted while the airstrike was still underway. One side manufactures its enemy's defeat, the other does exactly the same. Neither side has a monopoly on manufactured reality. Why now, and why is this so bad? So, why is this conflict so much worse than what came before? Joyojit Pal is a professor at the University of Michigan who studies how misinformation spreads online. He says three things are happening at once. First, both sides have restricted journalist access almost completely. No reporters on the ground means no authoritative images. That vacuum gets filled immediately and not with facts. Second, the targets in this war, hotels, consulates, energy facilities, are dramatic. High attention, exactly the kind of thing that generates viral fake footage. And third, the emotional groundwork was already laid. The already significant polarization over the Gaza bombing made a subset of online users more willing to aggressively engage with content that they want to believe. And the simmering anger against the USA following the tariffs that has increased the number of people who want to see the US doing poorly in the war, he says. In other words, the audience for this disinformation was pre built on every side. Now, India is not just watching, and here's what most people in India don't realize. India is not watching this conflict from a safe distance. India is both a target and an amplifier. Start with the targeting. Nearly 9 million Indians live and work in the Gulf. India imports a significant share of its oil from the region. Its relationships with Iran, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE are among its most consequential foreign policy assets. So, when fabricated content is designed to damage India's standing, that has real consequences. A post went viral claiming Bahraini intelligence had arrested an Indian engineer named photographed with what looked like an official government document for spying for Israel's Mossad, entirely fabricated, traced to Pakistani propaganda accounts. The actual Bahraini statement mentioned only 6 detainees of unspecified Asian nationalities, no names, no nationalities, no spy ring. But India isn't just a target. Indian accounts are also among the most prolific amplifiers of conflict disinformation globally. Kiran Garimala, assistant professor at Rutgers University, puts it bluntly. After October 7, 2023, when the Hamas attacked on Israel triggered the Gaza war, Indian accounts drove a disproportionate share of conflict related amplification worldwide. Someone was saying the Israelis are just outsourcing it to India. There's a lot of mobilization, hundreds of thousands of accounts associated with political parties that have complementary political goals, he says. Now, in this conflict, coordinated accounts with Indian sounding names, Gayatri Mantra banners, and nationalist bios have been simultaneously posting pro Iran, anti American content into Hindi language feeds using Indian identity as a delivery vehicle for someone else's information war. And many ordinary Indian users on all sides of the political spectrum are sharing fabricated content without realizing it. The UAE arrested 35 people for posting misleading AI generated conflict videos. 19 of them were Indian nationals. When proof stops working, what happens? But the story that really tells you where we are is what happened when both sides tried to control their own narratives. Iranian state media claimed Netanyahu had been killed in a missile strike. AI generated images spread of his body in rubble. Israel pushed back with videos. Users zoomed in frame by frame, a flickering wedding ring, a face that seemed to shift shape, a hand that appeared to show 6 fingers. An AI detection tool rated one clip with 96.9% synthetic. Grok X's built-in AI assistant declared another one 100% AI generated, citing, and this is real, static coffee levels. Meanwhile, Israeli aligned accounts were circulating fabricated videos of pro Israel protests in Tehran. Pro Iran accounts were pushing footage of American soldiers surrendering, US warships sinking, the Burj Khalifa collapsing under missile fire, also fabricated. Both sides generating their own version of this war, both sides genuine footage being dismissed as fake. And the people claiming to verify content, zooming into shadows and jawlines on X and calling it analysis. Chatterjee is pointed about this. These are very bogus examinations, she says. These are not even OSINT. OSINT, open source intelligence, is a real rigorous verification method. Organizations like Bellingcat have used it to expose war crimes and dismantle state propaganda by cross referencing footage against satellite imagery, checking metadata, matching landmarks to known coordinates. What is spreading on X is the aesthetic of that method without any of its discipline. The result, even when footage is genuine, it gets rejected. Even when a leader is probably alive, half the internet believes otherwise. The moment we debunk such a theory, a troll army gets onto us with their own ridiculous reasons, Chatterjee said. We do not have the bandwidth. The platforms are failing. Let's talk about the platforms because they are not innocent bystanders. During the 12th day Israel Iran war last June, Meta allowed an AI generated video showing fake destruction in Haifa posted by an account in the Philippines pretending to be a news outlet to circulate on Facebook unchecked. 6 users reported it. A similar clip had already been debunked on TikTok. Meta did nothing. Meta had also the previous year shut down its entire third party fact checking program on both sides of every story. As Rakib Naik, who runs a Center for the Study of Organized Hate in Washington, put it, the guardrails that existed previously don't exist anymore. On X, Grok gave more than 300 contradictory responses to a single fake video of a bombed airport, sometimes calling it real, sometimes fake, occasionally inventing citations to news outlets that never ever covered it. People believe Grok is a fact checking tool, which it isn't, said Nayak. Using it as a fact checking tool is a mistake. X announced that accounts posting war content without an AI disclosure would lose monetization for 90 days. Chatterjee says she has seen more disclaimers appearing, but repeat offenders are largely still at it. What has been India's response? The Indian government has significantly tightened its response since Operation Sindoor, though the machinery is more layered than most people realize. MIB doesn't pull down content directly, it flags. The actual takedowns go through MeitY, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. The Intelligence Bureau handles national security cases. MIB acts directly only when licensed content, OTT footage for instance, is being repurposed as disinformation. Since Sindoor, things have changed. The center has amended IT rules last month, and platforms must comply with the government instructions within 3 hours. Miss that window and safe harbor protections are gone. The government is also considering going further. A proposal under discussion would give direct takedown authority to the Ministry of Defense, External Affairs, and MIB itself, cutting out the single nodal ministry bottleneck during conflict situations. But Kanchan Gupta, senior advisor at MIB, is candid about what no system can fix. It's a beast which reproduces very fast. Often it slips into WhatsApp and Telegram, and then it cannot be spotted, he says. The deeper problem. Here is the thing that keeps researchers up at night. The flood of fakes is not just making people believe wrong things, it is making people stop believing anything. That genuine video of a rocket hitting a Tehran street, dismissed as propaganda. A real video of a leader conducting a meeting, called a deepfake. When the tools people use to check, like Grok, are themselves unreliable, and when the volume of fabricated content overwhelms the organizations built to debunk it, the effect is not confusion, it is surrender. Pal says the answer may not be more debunking, it may be provenance, building verification into how content is made and distributed before it even reaches a feed. There are no interventions that have been massively successful with debunking. We can all look forward to a future in which we would need provenance for any information coming our way, he says. For Chatterjee, the view from inside is less theoretical. I don't know where we are even going from here, she says. The Iran Israel war is being fought on two fronts. One involves missiles, drones, and aircrafts. The other involves pixels, prompts, and manufactured certainty. Manufactured, it must be said, by everyone: states, non state actors, political networks, monetization hungry accounts, and ordinary people who share something without checking because it confirmed what they already felt. On that second front, the line between what is real and what has been fabricated is not always findable, and the organizations built to find it are already running out of time.